Hey everyone, welcome to this next module. We are going to be focusing primarily on lighting for this one, which is a very underrated aspect of film. But as you begin doing this, you'll start to realize how it can advance and enhance all of your productions in just a few, I would say easy tricks, because I don't want to make it sound easy. It's actually one of the harder parts of film. But it's like, oh wow, just by doing this, this, or this, I can create a more dynamic, a more three-dimensional, less flat image. So it's a lot of fun. And you're going to get to film your first short project. Before we get into that, let's just take a quick reminder of Module 2. You have some edits. Your Horror and Eagle edit are due on the 25th, as well as your one assignment with two parts to it. So those are due the 25th. Again, because there were some tech issues with the school, we were a little behind. I added a couple days to it. Um, so just, the main thing with this being an async class is, just set your own schedule to whatever it is. But I wouldn't put things off till the end and just based on how much work has already come in. I got a feeling a lot of people are going to be editing a lot this weekend. But, um, just always keep in touch with me if there's an issue, something like that. Just open lines of communication are a plus. But hopefully you're enjoying it. And like I said, kind of getting in the nitty gritty of things now. So last week was a little bit more intense. Let me move this to the top. I'm not sure why I put it there. Um, but you have your overview here. We're going to be going from September 26th through October 8th. Those are going to be your primary dates. Um, Everything is due on the same day this go round, so you should be good. One thing is for your reading, go to chapter 7 of the Bare Bones camera course. That'll be more on lighting right now, so it'll kind of play into what we're talking about. All right, so your lectures, you're going to have a short one on lighting, and then another short one on some lighting techniques. So not not too bad. There's your lighting lecture. There's your cinematic lighting techniques. Okay, as far as assignments go, um, this should be number 6. I'm going to rename that. So number 5 assignment, you're just going to watch a film of your choosing, and I want you to talk about the way the lighting enhanced everything, what made it work. Now, this, of course, is coming after you watch the lecture, so that you'll have some of this terminology in your lexicon to use to prove a point. But 250 words. Again, once you've figured out what I'm going for as far as like the importance of lighting, these are all things you learn in the lecture, apply it to a film of your choice. Now, this can be one that maybe has been on your list to watch, maybe it's your favorite film, and you just start to kind of look back on what were some of the lighting techniques. So, 250 words, it's one full page about what you noticed. And just check your grammar, check your spelling, things like that. I kind of gave some examples. So, like, The Godfather, this is from Godfather 2. Don't quote me on that. It's from one of the first two Godfathers. um, but the dark lit room helped to symbolize the hidden dark side to Michael Corleone, who was once pure and innocent of the mafia life. See, even I need to double check my work. Um, so, or by keeping the character's eyes dark in the audience is continually guessing at the true motives of Michael's character. All right, so you can kind of see some examples there. You can put pictures in if you want. That's perfectly okay. You can put a link to a scene, anything like that. Talk to me about lighting. Get to 250 words. Okay, so this one, pretty straightforward. This is just about understanding frame rate. So, I've talked often about that you need to be shooting at 24 frames per second. This video will kind of help to clarify some of those aspects where maybe the book didn't kind of put it into practice. So it's important to remember you need to always know what frame rate you're filming in and what you're editing in. What is the frame rate you're editing in and exporting in? So there's kind of three components to it, and they should be consistent. And for the sake of consistency, just remember you need to shoot in 24 frames per second. need to edit in a timeline that's 24 frames per second, and make sure to export it. And usually in some systems, um, it won't necessarily give you the option, like you can't change the frame rate from the timeline. So, but just it's important to make sure that that edits your sequence settings are set to 24 frames per second. And of course, I went all over that in in your last module. But this one is really simple. You're just going to watch this video. That's really all I want you to do, but please just turn in something like that lets me know you watched it. So I watched the video and understand the content. Perfect. That's all I need. Or I watched the video and I need clarification on. So this is an example of something, if we were in person, that I would just show. So I'm putting points to it because obviously you're putting in the work, but if you have questions, just insert your question on whatever it might be. We can either meet online, or I can answer your question, on the portion of the assignment where I turn in your grade, and I could put comments on there. Just write something. You don't have to follow this. Just write one or two sentences that lets me know either you understand it or that you need clarification on something. That's all you have to do. I believe it's just like a 10-minute video essay, so it's not very long. Okay, now here's the fun part. I want you to make your first film, and I want you to stick to the parameters. There's always some joker in the class who wants to, make a 2 hour long first film. This is not one to necessarily impress anybody with or whatever. Just stick to the directions. It's an important lesson to learn, because if you want to go into this as a career, then you're going to have to stick to the parameters your boss or the client sets for you. You can't reimagine what they want. So this is what I'm wanting right now. I just want a simple story that's a hero, a goal, and an obstacle. Something simple, right? I did a short film that was a door-to-door missionary is starts to walk up to a house right as another missionary's walking up to a house. So then it becomes a competition of who gets to the door first, right? When I had to do assignment sort of similar to this, right? So just a simple hero, goal, obstacle. And really think about your shots. What highlights conflict? What highlights drama? Um, don't just pick a shot for the sake of, okay, well, this is easy. This is eye level. This is a normal shot. No, when does a close up really help sell what you're trying to say? When does a wide shot help to establish the geography? So really start to think of that. Um, Vary it up, not just for the sake of variety. Really think about it. Like, get out there. That's one cool thing you can do with your phone when you're filming, is just start to look at different angles, right? Okay, if I shoot it from here, if I shoot it from here, if I shoot it from here, what does that say in my story? How does it help the narrative? Okay, keep it simple, is the other thing. No um, ninjas flying off of a Manhattan skyscraper, nothing too crazy. Again, I'd steer clear of violence as much as possible unless it's highly stylized. But again, on a college campus, I would just say don't do it. Be smart. Be smart in what you do. Um, I want it only 45 seconds to 2 minutes, and by no means, like, 45 seconds is perfect. Like, that's a sweet spot. There's just always somebody who wants to go more, so I give you a 2 minute leeway. -10 for not following those guidelines. The edit should be smooth in the cuts, right? So are you cutting on action? Is there a lot of unnecessary? A lot of one thing that first time filmmakers tend to do is that worry that the gap in logic, like if somebody, their goal is to go, let's say, from their car to a classroom building, like, don't feel like you got to film every single step that person takes. We can logically conclude that they got from their car and they walked to where they're going. Sometimes it helps to have that slower pace in there, fine, but not always. A lot of times there's a lot more than what's necessary and what's filmed. Make sure there's no flash frames. Now, what a flash frame is let's say you have clip A and clip B, and sometimes what happens is a little sliver of something for multiple different ways can wind up in there, and it just pops right on the screen. If you've ever seen the film Fight Club, you know what I'm talking about. Brad Pitt's character would purposely insert flash frames. So it's just something that you have to sit there and watch your export before you submit it. watch it in the playback of your editing, everything like that. Make sure nothing's in there that shouldn't be. Make sure the audio is balanced. So, if there's talking, that it's not super loud here, super quiet here. You can balance those out. We haven't really got into audio. If you are filming in conditions where it's like really windy or something like that, what I would suggest doing is just going out and capturing just 30 seconds to a minute of nothing but that outdoor or indoor noise. You can do this. This is called getting room tone or ambient noise. And you could put that underneath. You just lower to a lower volume and put it underneath your entire scene. And it'll make everything seem smooth. So if you're editing it and thinking, gosh, there's this kind of like weird pop as I'm going between shots, you can even go online and find like ambient sounds outside or in a room that you're in, like just little noises, fans, air conditioners, refrigerators, things like that, that can kind of cause that hum. You put that at the base of your audio track and it kind of balances things out. When we get into audio, I'll show you more on that. But I know some people, it's like infuriating. It's like, how do I get rid of the sound? And that's how you do it. So just make sure, if nothing else, your audio is balanced. If you bring music in, make sure like the music's not like, blowing out our eardrums. Please put your name and a title at the start of the film over a black screen for 3 seconds. And I sent you in the last module how to do that. So 3 seconds, just your name and a title. -10 for not having that. So the goal of this is just to create a cohesive project, to go out, to shoot something, to edit it, to deliver it. Make sure you don't turn in the project file, make sure you turn in the export. And I'm going to add that on there too, and I should say, hopefully you're looking at this again, but -10 for that. Make sure it's the export. And that helps me know that you watch the export. So you've gone from your editing software where you've clicked export, okay, and that goes into a file somewhere on your computer. Open that file up and watch it, and it plays back. That's what you turn in. So just your video file, please turn that in. If you turn in the project file, do -10. Sorry, that's not on here. Got a couple corrections to make on this one. I've had the flu for about a week, so not on my A game. But that is the long and short of what you have for this next module. So please don't hesitate to email me if there's any questions. Proffoss, PROFFOSS24 @gmail.com, but you already know that. It's right there in the instructor information. Again, don't wait to get stuff done. Start working on it now. Balance yourself out so it's not everything getting done in one weekend. All right, hit me up if there's anything you need. Have a great weekend, everybody.